Hello, North Valley kids. It's me, Brian, and I'm so excited to be with you today. Today is a super special day. It's Mother's Day. It's a day that we celebrate all that our moms do for us. And I know without my mom, I would be in a lot of trouble. And I think that's probably the case for all of us. So make sure today you give your mom extra hugs, extra kisses, and tell her how much you love her. Well, for today's lesson, we're actually going to be learning about a special person named Nehemiah. And Nehemiah wanted to help serve God in a very different way by actually doing some really hard work. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But before we do, I want you guys to go ahead and stand up because we're going to sing a song together. So stand up and let's sing.
This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed singing those songs together. But before we get into our lesson, I wanted to encourage you guys. Even though you're in your home right now and you're not at church, did you know there's other kids at their houses doing the same thing you're doing, which is sitting and watching this lesson? I wanted to show you guys these pictures just to encourage you to keep it up, keep worshiping God, and keep serving Him week to week, even though we can't be together each week. So go ahead and check out these pictures. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing some of your friends worshiping God as well. But now let's go ahead and talk about our story. So today's story is about a man named Nehemiah. And Nehemiah decided that he was going to stay in Persia instead of go back to Jerusalem to help rebuild the city and the temple. However, when Nehemiah found out that the city of Jerusalem still had walls that were broken and gates that were broken, he decided he was going to go and help rebuild the city. So Nehemiah went to Jerusalem to work hard, and he encouraged other people to also work hard. And so together they rebuilt the city. And God used him in a very special way so that the people of God could be protected from their enemies. But let's go ahead and watch this video so you don't have to just take my word for it.
Hi friends, Megan here, and this is Jessie.
Hi.
Jessie, is that what I think it is? Is that the official Koala Karate Squad Dojo Master's lair we worked so hard to build?
Yep.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, my mom was cleaning in my room and she accidentally knocked it off my dresser. It was an accident. She said she was really sorry.
Oh well, accidents happen, I guess.
Yeah, Mom did say she would help us rebuild it.
Oh good, that was really nice of her. And I'm sure between the three of us, we can rebuild it really quickly.
You think so?
Oh yeah! In today's Bible story, God's people rebuilt something that was broken, the walls around Jerusalem, and they did it quickly.
They did?
Yep. Let's listen to the story before we start rebuilding. Long ago, a man named Nehemiah lived in Persia. Persia was the place where many of God's people stayed after they were freed from Babylon. Some of God's people went home to their country called Judah. Nehemiah was one of God's people. He had an important job in Persia serving the king. One day, some men came from Judah. Nehemiah asked them, "How are God's people doing?" "The people are in trouble," they said. "The walls around the city are broken down, and the gates have been burned down." Nehemiah cried and prayed to God when he heard this bad news. The king saw that Nehemiah was sad. "What's wrong, Nehemiah?" the king asked. Nehemiah said, "The city where my family is from is in trouble. The walls around the city are broken, and the gates have been burned down." So the king sent Nehemiah to Jerusalem to rebuild the city. In Jerusalem, Nehemiah led the people to rebuild Jerusalem's wall and fix the gates in the wall. Everyone in the city worked together on the walls. Before long, the wall was halfway rebuilt. Some men who lived nearby did not like God's people, and they did not want them to have new walls to keep them safe. The men made fun of God's people and made a plan to attack them. Nehemiah did not want the people to be afraid. "God is great and powerful," Nehemiah said. "If our enemies attack us, God will fight for us." So God's people kept working. Some of the men stood guard with weapons, and others worked on the wall. The people were always ready to fight, just in case. Nehemiah was a good leader for God's people. He helped them when they had problems, and he told them to trust God. Before long, the wall was finished. The gates and the walls were fixed, and God's people were safe. The people's enemies were afraid because they knew that God was with his people. Nehemiah helped God's people fix the walls around their city. The walls protected the people from their enemies. Jesus protects us from our enemies. When we know and love Jesus, he keeps us safe from sin, and we will live with him forever.
I hope you guys enjoyed that story. And it is good to remember that we have Jesus who protects us from sin and from death. But now let's go ahead and do our memory verse together. So our memory verse today is 1 Peter 5:10, and it goes like this: God will himself restore you after you have suffered a little while. So let's do the motions together. God will himself restore you after you have suffered a little while. 1 Peter 5:10. One more time. God will himself restore you after you have suffered a little while. 1 Peter 5:10. And what that is, it just reminds us that even though sometimes there is suffering and sometimes life is hard, God will be with us and he will help to bring us and restore us back one day. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed your lesson for today. Remember to love your mom. Make sure you thank her and hug her and help her in any way that you can. And if you guys entered for one of those Bible journals, we're going to be sending those out this week. So if you guys won, you'll see one in the mail soon. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.